You got to get out of your brain, they can do it or they can't do it. They have the money, they don't have the money. These are what's called internal considerations. And a consideration is an internal thought that prohibits an external action. It's an internal thought you have. They can't afford to do this. They're not interested in doing it. What you need to do is you just present the idea to people and let them tell you, yes, I'd like to do it, or no, I wouldn't like to do it, okay? Let's get out of mental creation and get into physical action. The first decision you got to make, and this is something I actually tell myself in the morning because I have a lot of self-talk, and my self-talk is, I am a person of interest. People are counting on me to show up, to grow up, and deliver. I don't whine, I don't complain, and I don't make excuses. Okay, I've started saying I am a person of expansion, right? I am in an expansion mindset. Sales is an expansion mindset. So guess what I was doing on my break after I had my little piece of pizza? I was voice texting people. So I'm voice texting a guy over in Raleigh-Durham, and I go, hey, man, I got a wild idea. I want you to be open to this. Man, I think you'd be great for a greatness factory. Everybody see that? And I explain the benefit of why I think he would be great. Toughness, right? Here's what happens at Greatness Factory. Here's all the things that have happened to me since having a Greatness Factory. Okay? And I'm just basically explaining, and all he can do is say, I'm interested or I'm not, right? And then some of the people are interested in investing in the companies that I'm involved with. And so I'm here, the CEO's messaging me and the chief strategy officer like, hey, we're doing this is good, we're making moves, the stock's growing today, whatever the case may be. But it's all really expansion. Now, but that's not how most people think, right or wrong? Because I'm listening to the conversation of the two women beside me. They're not talking about expansion while they're having their pizza. And these people ain't talking about expansion, but I have to give the guy credit who owns the pizza shop. He said, hey, you're Coach Bert, aren't you? And I said, yeah. And he said, you own that Greatness Factory? And I said, yes, sir. He said, man, who does your catering over there? I said, well, we bring in caterers. He said, well, look, here's what I will do for you, Coach. I'm going to give you my card. I would like to deliver fresh pizza to your people. I know you have a lot of events. And I said, man, I'm going to give you credit for asking me, right or wrong? Yes. Right. That's an expansion activity. So I said, here's what I'll do. I'll take the card. I'll give it to Jana. But he actually asked me for business. That's an expansion activity. So when you think about it, it's not like it's hard. A lot of people go, what do you do all day long? All day long I call on new people. All day long I follow up with people who have indicated interest. All day long I try to convert people who are what's called the red zone. And all day long I engage with influencers. Okay? I engage with influencers. So with Tony Giarratana, this is my message to Tony Giarratana this morning, okay? Because I want to stay in that ecosystem with him. I basically sent him a text message this morning that looks like this. Because it doesn't matter if the guy's worth $500 million or not. He's still a human being. I said, great to see you yesterday. I love watching you make bold moves. Top 5 habits of the top 1%. Remarkable boldness, intrinsic motivation, connection to others, ability to lock in, grit, and resilience. You and Saban have all 5. Saban's psychologist, Dr. Kevin Elko, was here at the Greatness Factory last week, and I sent him a little picture. He comes back. This is smooth dude. Well, I am hardly worthy to be counted in the same group as Coach Saban and you. That's funny. And he said, I will ponder your counsel above throughout the day. Thanks, Coach. And then I just sent him some pictures. Says, thank you for believing in me and this vision. We're going to take these around the world. See, that's how you communicate with a guy worth $500, $600 million. Are you with me? He's a person. Just communicate. Just talk to him, right? He appreciates that. He appreciates the banter. So when you're thinking about it, I've got to get you in the mindset of whatever fear that holds you back. They'll laugh at me. They'll be embarrassed. It won't work. Whatever it is you tell yourself. I changed my mind about rejection at 25 years old when I went through a real bad rejection period. I was clinically depressed. Changed my whole mind about rejection. It's best thing ever happened to me, by the way. Because once I fought through that over that 6-month cycle, on the other side of that was a much deeper intimacy with me and my potential and me and my confidence. You follow me? So once I changed my mind about rejection, I'm like, now I'm on the other side of this wall. And I like being over here, right? Because now I'm not worried about rejection. So when I present an idea to another person, and you got to get out of your brain, they can do it or they can't do it. They have the money, they don't have the money. These are what's called internal considerations. And a consideration is an internal thought that prohibits an external action. It's an internal thought you have. They can't afford to do this. They're not interested in doing it. What you need to do is just present the idea to people and let them tell you, yes, I'd like to do it, or no, I wouldn't like to do it, okay? So big takeaway for me is get out of mental creation and get into physical action. And what is a physical action? Anything that moves you toward the B goal. And the B goal is the big goal that's out in front of you that you're trying to move toward. Okay? And if you ever see me do the exercise, I go, in my mind, I don't have one greatness factory, I have 50 greatness factories. Right? And I go there in the mind before I go there in the body. And you say, well, what's a physical action? I go to Austin, Texas, and I schedule a meeting, and I go down to the Capital Factory. And I look at it, and I go, okay, what happened here? How did you do this? And it gives me inspiration, right? And I'm going, I could do this. If they could do it, I could do it. So this is another thing that happened in my life that I want to encourage you to do is that at first, Cody, I would say I'll be a good coach, but I'll never be a championship coach. Because my school had never won a championship before in 30-something years. So this was my self-talk. We'll win 25 or 30 games, but we'll never be champions because we're not that good, right? Then I changed that. Then I go one day, we're going to be champions. I started writing books. I'll write good books, but I'll never write a Wall Street Journal or New York Times best-selling book, right? Then book number 18, I changed that. Okay, I'll be when I wrote Single Digit Millionaire, it's like, I'll be worth 1 to 10 million, but I'll never be worth 25 million. Does that make sense? So it's like I had very limiting beliefs until I shifted some of these beliefs. And it's like, no, I'm making a simple decision. I'm going to back the decision up with action and commitment. And a commitment is not a commitment unless you back it up with resources, time, money. See where I'm going? And I'm telling you, if you sat in my sales department and listened to our sales calls all day long, you would hear people scared to death to take action on themselves. It is paralyzing. It is crippling, right? And it's like you just want to come through the phone and go, come on, like what, right? Like what is keeping you from just taking an action and investing in yourself?